Hello and welcome. This is a review for the Super Mario Bros. Movie that just came out. I watched it today. This is opening day. So I have a little 5-point system: story, characters, setting and tone, visual, and then music and sound. So story, 1 out of 2. It's not a super duper dense plot, guys. It's they keep things pretty simple. Luigi gets kidnapped. Gotta save him from Bowser, right? It's not super duper duper in depth. They tease at some depth. Bowser says he's been through a bunch of pain. They tease at some stuff with how Peach came to the world, but they don't really get super duper far into it. If you've seen the trailer, you know what the plot of this movie is, and it doesn't really expound super far past that. And the story doesn't really... It's not like, oh, wow, we really, really needed... this super complex lore for it or anything like that. Do I wish that there had been? I don't know. Maybe. There's some things I wish we had explored a little bit more. This is a movie where I feel like you could have added 20 minutes to it, 20 to 30 minutes to it, and I would just to flesh things out, and I would have been A-okay with that. Characters. I'm giving 1.5 out of 2. To the characters. The reason I'm taking off a half point is because of Peach's feminism armor. It's not so bad that they make her the main character and Mario still solves the main issue of the plot, but it is bad enough that you can tell that the plot bends around her being incapable of taking an L in even one scenario. And while they find ways to get her out of the way, without her losing, it's just like, hey, tough people can get knocked down too. Her getting knocked down or getting kidnapped or whatever would not have made her a weak character. Not this version of Princess Peach. She's a really, really strong character. And I don't even hate her. I hate her implementation in the plot because I felt her feminism armor taking her out of, being knocked around the same way the boys are. Which to me isn't really feminism, because if it was really feminism, then she'd have to be playing by the same rules that everybody else does. And everybody else is getting their ass kicked by Bowser. So I didn't like that aspect. I took off half a point for it. You can agree or disagree. Setting and tone. This has an upbeat, lighthearted tone, and it basically has that the whole time. There's one little star character that's really dark. You've seen him in the trailer, who's all like impending doom, and he's cool. But he gets a little too dark. He uses the word die a lot. You know what I mean, for a kids movie. So, but to be honest, it's still 2 out of 2 when it comes to setting and tone, because the movie made me laugh consistently, like little chuckles. You know what I mean? It wasn't like a gut buster, but it was going for this sort of Adventure Time quality, and it delivered on that. Not the darker aspects of Adventure Time, mind you, but like season 1, season 2 Adventure Time. I felt like I was watching like what a movie of that would have been. So it's a fun, lighthearted, kind of random adventure. It's fine. It has a heart, though. It has a heart with the Mario brothers. I do legitimately care about them, their relationship, and them succeeding and getting reunited. So it's not like it's devoid of meaning. So the setting and tone was there. Visuals, it's a beautiful movie. It's not so beautiful that it's distracting, like, oh my god, look at what our graphics chip can be. It's just like a genuinely, like, things are visually presented in a successful way. It's interesting because it's sort of the opposite approach of what we're getting right now in cinema when it comes to CGI pictures. In most CGI movies right now, we're going for a cartoony style on realistically shaped people. Whereas this movie goes for a very cartoony style in terms of shapes, but very realistic style in terms of rendering. Both are fine. Both are visually interesting. I like the Into the Spider-Verse model. I like this as well. Visually, I felt it was successful. 2 out of 2. And music and sound. This is Illumination. They like to use licensed music. It was not appropriate here, I feel. I'm sorry, but this is the Super Mario Bros. Movie. Okay? The Super Mario Bros. Movie is, this is part of the Mario franchise. Mario has some of the best music in video games. They could have remixed any of the music into whatever they needed for a cinematic score. At one point, when they're going to drive down, Rainbow Road and stuff, with the carts, they decide, oh, we're going to play AC/DC Thunderstruck. And I'm like, I know, I've played Mario Kart. I know that there are songs that they could have, made metal, right? This is a cast that has Jack Black in it, right? So Jack Black is a pretty famous rocker. He knows a lot of rockers, right? Like he knows frickin' Foo Fighters' David Grohl, for instance. Give me the remix of Rainbow Road soundtrack to that. You know what I mean? Like to with the Foo Fighters. I would have been into that. But no, instead we just get Thunderstruck because we need to have our licensed music. And it's not the only time there's licensed music. There's at least 3 licensed tracks in this, which, to be fair, is more sparing than most Illuminations pictures, but it's still annoying because it takes me out of it because this is Mario. This is the Mario Brothers. Come on, there's 30 years of a musical legacy here. Just get music from Mario and remix it for its big movie debut. So that's 1 out of 2 on the music. So 1 out of 2 for the story, 1.5 for the characters, 2 for setting and tone, 2 for visuals, 1 out of 2 for sound, with a total score of 7.5 out of 10. It's good. Go see it. I recommend Atlas Cinema for a reasonably priced, decent time. You know, I always recommend Atlas Cinema. They've been very good to me over the years. I've had a very consistent movie watching experience. The nachos are to die for. I can recommend this film for the whole family, right? If you're not looking to like critically analyze it, right? If you're not looking for a masterpiece, if you're just looking for a good time, this is exactly that. It's a popcorn flick. It's a popcorn flick that has a heart, though. It's very comparable to the Lego Movie in a lot of ways. It's maybe like a half a sketch less than that. So, yeah, go see it. It's a good time. I wasn't offended. Do I think that it does the Super Mario Bros. Legacy proud? Yeah, sure. Next time, if they're going to have Peach go on the adventure and be one of the boys, they have to let her get knocked around like one of the boys. She was very, very near to a Rey Skywalker level of invulnerability. The only thing that made her work was that I liked her as a personality, right? They didn't make her one note. She wasn't like stale, right? And that they didn't have her take away the W from the main characters. But if she's going to come back as a supporting character and mentor in the future, then they really have to treat her like she's a part of the world and not invulnerable to the things that everybody else is getting wrecked by. Because, is the implication that she can't take battle damage and get back up? Is that why she doesn't take a hit? You know what I mean? It comes off as, ooh, girl power is what they're going for. But to me, it's just like, oh, I guess this character is so fragile she can't take a hit. So are the ego of people is so fragile that if she did, they think that the audience would crumble. The reality is that halfway through the film, they had justified this Princess Peach being the most badass iteration, that there has ever been. If she had gotten kidnapped, it would have spoken to Bowser's capability and not to her deficit. So it is a complaint, but it's not a damning one. I feel like the movie's a very solid 7.5. So yeah, go see it. Go see it if you want to have a fun adventure. This has been Dr. Making Stuff, signing out.